The Competition Commission has recommended the approval of the acquisition of embattled sugar producer Tongaat Hulett by a consortium of companies, namely Vision, which includes a company founded by IT businessman Robert Ngwema. The Commission said that, in its view, the proposed acquisition was unlikely to be substantially lessen or prevent competition in any market, and this follows a decision taken by Tongaat's creditors in January to approve a business rescue plan that would see the acquisition by the consortium. The Competition Tribunal will have the final say on the deal. The fresh produce market inquiry conducted by the Competition Commission identifies supplies of fertiliser, agrichemicals and seeds as part of the problems surrounding competition in the South African market. The Competition Commission initiated the inquiry in terms of the Competition Act. And this follows 14 months of evidence gathering, public hearings and in-camera hearings into the fresh produce industry in South Africa. The Competition Commission says the inquiry came about as it had a reason to believe that there may be features in the fresh produce market that could impede, restrict or distort competition, with a specific focus on significant fresh produce. The inquiry focused on 5 fruits: apples, citrus, particularly oranges and soft citrus, bananas, pears and table grapes. It also covered 6 vegetables: potatoes, onions, carrots, cabbage, tomatoes and spinach. And for more on this, we're now joined by Head of Communications for the Competition Commission, Sipho Ngwema, and he joins us now via our video link. Sipho, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. I mean, just looking at what the Competition Commission undertook in terms of investigating that matter in that inquiry, and I mean, you have found that some of the retailers distorted prices of fresh produce. What do you make of the findings from this inquiry?
Good evening, Bali, and thank you once again for having us in your program. We have found a number of things that we seem to think that they distort, impede, and restrict competition. And of course, as you ask about the retailers, one of the things that we found about the retailers is that there's still concentration in the retail business. We still have, when it comes to fresh produce, the 5 dominant sectors in the space, which then means that there's not been any new entrants. What that means is that you do not have as much competition as you thought we should have by this time. But further, one of the problems that we found is that when they sell us some of the things, for example, if they sell us 2 kgs of potatoes or bananas, they will never tell us how much is the kilo of a banana, so that we can be able to then compare what is Sipho selling a banana for per kilo versus what is Mbali selling for per kilo. But all they will tell us is that here's 2 kilos of bananas or here's 2 kilos of potatoes, without telling us how much is the kilo. Because when Mbali and Sipho buy meat, for example, we know that a kilo of beef or a kilo of lamb in a particular establishment is so much, because that informs us that this is how much we are going to pay for 2 kilos at the end of the day. So those are the things that need to be done in order to empower the consumer. So if you don't tell us, you just give us about, this is 5 kilograms, and we don't know of those 5 kilograms, how much does it cost for a kilo? It's not empowering me as a consumer, empowering Bali as a consumer to know that before I can take a decision whether to buy from Sipho or whether to buy from Thabo and how much is a kilo, this is where the markup is hidden, because a 2 kilo, a 5 kg, doesn't tell the consumer how much is a kilo in order for that consumer to be able to make sure to know how much are they paying. And further, there are a number of other things that we think that the concentration is doing, because you have these 5 and you find that the markup stay for longer, because you have had competition that come in to compete with these particular grocery retailers with respect to the issue that we're talking about, which is fruit and veg. And we are saying they need to be transparent. They need to tell consumer exactly what are they paying for.
Yeah.
And that's some of the issues
and
related to the area we're talking about.
And Sipho, coming directly to the consumers, because I mean, one would say that they are the hardest hit in this regard. What is the impact then when we have prices being distorted, especially by retailers, the impact it has on South African consumers?
That's the problem, because all the inefficiencies and the inefficiencies and some of the things that we have found that distort competition, the consumer bears the brunt of that. And you and I, when we go to the till, we pay more because we believe that if those things can be addressed, if we can have more competition, if we can have more players, particularly with small and pretty disadvantaged farmers and suppliers, we think that we can be able to have more competition and those prices can be able to go down. And now I was just relating to you how long the markup stays with regard to the issues of fresh produce. And if you have competition, those markups shouldn't be staying for long, because when you compete, you are able to fight or compete with those prices, and those are the problems that we have. And this is why we have made recommendations and remedial actions to address those things.
And let's speak about that, Sipho. What is the recommendations, especially now, to regulate the prices of fresh produce?
One of the things we say, for example, that they must be able to tell consumers how much are they paying per kilo. Because when consumers buy meat, they know how much they are paying per kilo. They know how much they are paying per kilo of lamb, per kilo of beef, but they don't know, particularly when it comes to bulk, how much are they paying per kilo. Secondly, we believe that they need programs that are going to empower small business so that they can be able to enter those markets and they can be able to then compete with the big businesses. And that will mean that consumers will have much more options that can improve price and that can improve quality of those products.
All right, Sipho, thank you so much for your time. That's Sipho Ngwema. He is the head of communications for the Competition Commission, just giving us his insight there when it comes to the outcomes of that inquiry when it comes to fresh produce.